Over the years, the increasing rates of housing deficit in Nigeria have been a worrisome trend. With the rapid population growth in the country, it is said that Nigeria's housing deficit will continue to increase if adequate steps are not taken by the government. Former President of Nigeria, OLUSEGUN, OBASANJO, says government will have to think out of the box to improve housing production in the country.
If we look among ourselves and if we do what we should do, we will reach the standard that other developed countries of the world have reached.
He stressed that a public-private partnership arrangement, which is gradually helping to bridge the housing deficit gap, was part of his administration's policy adjustment program in 2007.
Also, create the establishment of satellite towns. And the last was the encouragement of PPP in estate development. And this was the pioneer or the first of such large-scale.
The chairman of the estate, Paul Odili, commended Obasanjo for the role his administration played in encouraging private investment in mass housing estate development, adding that it has contributed to the housing deficit gap, improving the country's economy.
We are providing houses, and with the numbers we have here, it's reducing. When you are providing houses and deficits are reducing, so it's being addressed. So we're addressing it by what you are saying here now. From the visit of former President Olusegun Obasanjo to the visit of my own governor, Dr. Okowa, and the DIG and the rest of Nigerians, I'm happy.
Amen.
It is expected that, with the massive housing project put in place by private estate developers, the challenges faced by many Nigerians in getting affordable housing will be drastically reduced. Iwa Reho, Jokwesi, AIT News, Abuja.
To Paul Odili, our esteemed chairman, it is my great honor to give this vote of thanks. Firstly, I must give all the glory and honor and thanks to our great Father, the God of heaven and earth, for blessing the partnership between the co-founders of River Park and the Federal Capital Territory with the successful erection of the 3,000 housing units you see before you. Today I'm reminded of the verse quoted by our chairman, which I re-endorse. Except the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain that build. Furthermore, I believe with God's help, if the River Park Mass Housing Partnership and its incorporation of community policing is replicated in other states and in local governments across the country, it will go far to meet the deficit and the shortfall in housing delivery here in Nigeria. Secondly, after thanking my Father in heaven, I must thank Baba, my father here. Dear Baba, thank you so much for encouraging me to come back to Nigeria, to contribute my expertise to the nation. Coming back was the best decision I ever made. I want to thank you personally, Baba, on behalf of all Nigerians and the diaspora, for your continued encouragement and support. Thank you also for introducing us to the distinguished Professor Akin Mabogunje, whose outstanding leadership, along with my dear chairman Paul Odili, has turned our Nigerian dream of mass housing ownership into a reality. Thank you, Professor Mabogunje and your son Shane, for all your practical wisdom and leadership. In thanking our chairman Paul Odili, there are not words to describe the depth of our relationship. The relationship goes beyond business. The relationship, he is a spiritual brother and an inspiration. I may be from the diaspora, but Mr. Paul Odili is the Nigerian local content that has made this River Park a success. I must also thank Sir Sam Jonah for all his support, and he sends his regards and his apologies, and is ably represented by his sons here, Kojo and Victor, who have been managing the estate with us since 2011. Thank you, Kojo and Victor. I must also acknowledge my friend and brother, Mr. Babatunde Flavio, who introduced me to Sir Sam over 10 years ago. I must also thank our dear Chief, I must thank you so much for all your support for us. We really appreciate your presence and your fatherly advice. Now, I must also thank the series of ministers of the FCT, ranging back to Minister El-Rufai, now Governor El-Rufai, for all their support in this partnership. I thank the Inspector General of Police, the FCT Commissioner of Police and the DIG, the Chairman of the Senate House Committee for Police and their partnership in this community policing program, this initiative that we've just started here. Now, thirdly, River Park, the private-public partnership could not succeed without the invaluable support of all the directors of urban and regional planning, directors of mass housing, AGIS, land development control, engineering, resettlement and compensation. In relation to compensation, I'd like to thank our royal fathers for their continued support in assisting our Nigerian police force in providing security to all our residents here. I must also thank our spiritual fathers for blessing us this day. I would also like to thank members of the press and media for coordinating such a wonderful event. And I must thank the River Park Planning Committee, with all of our staff, all of our 3,000 contractors and suppliers, and the esteemed residents of River Park Estate, especially the cooperative leaders of ECOWAS, NMPC, CBN, and we must also thank the diaspora for their patronage. I'd like to thank our masters of ceremony, who presented such an enjoyable session here, and all those that have spoken today. But before I hand over to our MCs, and to round up and recognize anyone that I may have inadvertently forgot, I must also thank my dear wife. Furthermore, I must thank my mother-in-law, and I must thank the mother of the day. That is Margaret Odiri. Bless you, Mommy. God bless you. So, I'd like to wish you all Godspeed, blessing and protection as you travel back. God bless you. Thank you.